Now, before I begin with the story, one of my subscribers mentioned something like they suggest or gave me an idea what I can do for the Decepticons, like what I can do to help them. And I'm gonna go with your first step because the other two steps I'll do them later. I'm sorry that I don't I can't really pronounce your name, so I'm really sorry. I'll try to pronounce it. Okay, I'll be practicing these few days to make sure I can say your name properly. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, our story will basically continue in season 2, episode 1, where we will see the Autobots kind of surprised seeing the 5 new bots. As Ratchet says, say hello to Team Prime. Everyone else is confused, but Perceptor would explain that these 5 bots are Primes. Confused, Ironhind asks, "What do you mean?" And then Perceptor would explain everything, as he explains that Optimus used the Forge and his own DNA, plus the power of the Matrix, and fused all of them together, thanks with thankfully with the Vortex Blade because it's an overpowered weapon, and he created the 5 of them, and they are pretty much the pinnacle. They are literally prime. So, if anyone deserves the power of the or deserves the matrix of leadership, it most likely belongs to them. And the knights are kind of surprised, but then one of the knights, no, sorry, Red Guardian, the leader of the knights, is like, wait, hold on a second, isn't Oximus also a knight? And hearing this makes Perceptor like, yeah, that's true. So they're also knights. So night primes, prime nights. I don't know. We don't really have an official name for that yet. And then Anna turns to the 5 new bots and is like, "What are your names?" Ratchet's like, "Well, I wanted to give them like original names, like the original 13 primes, but Prime he went a bit a bit out of the continuity as he went to other franchises to check out which names would be good for them because of their looks. But let me stop breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, pretty much this over here is Nova Prime. He's pretty much the leader of the squad. And Nova looks at everyone and says hi. And Ratchet's like, why is he white? And Perceptor's like, why are you red? And then Ina's like, okay, fair enough, I understand. And then Ratchet looks at the other one and he's like, and this is Maximus Prime. And then Ina's like, that just looks like Oximus for some reason. And then Perceptor's like, yeah, we know, but to be fair, Prime wanted to at least model one of them after himself, which kind of makes sense because, to be fair, I mean, we do need. I mean, they have to represent their father after all. And I not hearing this is like, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Who's the other one? And Ratchet points at the other one, and he's like, oh, that one over there is Sentinel, Sentinel Prime. And hearing this, Ana's like, why do I have the strong urge to kill him and kill? Like, why do I have the strong urge to kill him? And why do I have the strong urge to kill another person? I'm so confused. Why? Why does that name piss me off? Like someone did me dirty by shooting me from the back. And Ratchet's like, what? And Nana's like, no, it's nothing, dog. It's nothing. Yeah, yeah. And if you found out the truth, yeah, you would be mad. But to be fair, this is a different Sentinel. He's more pure. He's more different. So don't kill off little bro. He didn't do nothing. But yeah. And Ratchet's like, okay, I'm gonna continue. This over here is Icarus Prime. And here in this Anna's like, Icarus Prime. That's kind of a badass name, I can't lie. That's kind of badass right there. And Ratchet's like, I have to agree. Prime knows how to spit some he knows how to give some names like Icarus Prime. So it sounds like a prime to me. And then Ratchet looks at the smaller but younger but and he's like, and who's he? And Ratchet's like, oh, that's Rodimus Prime. Rodimus Prime. Hmm. Not a bad name, not a bad name. All of the names are okay, but one of the names pisses me off. But at the same time, I have the strong urge to trust him way more than the name itself. Very weird. But anywho, so these are basically primes. And Ratchet would say, yes, they are. They are they're replacements for Optimus. As Oximus knew that he would lose his memories. And Red Guardian's like, so he basically made a backup plan in the forms of those protoforms by using his DNA plus the Forge, plus the Vortex Blade, and along with the power of the Matrix, he created primes, and very, very powerful primes. And on this, I'm confused as Iron Knight. He's like, what do you mean powerful? And Red Guardian explains that all of them are as powerful as Oximus, and literally they're all equal to him, both in strength, speed, intelligence. I would say they're smarter than mostly everyone besides Oximus, Perceptor, and Ratchet, and that's pretty much it. Everyone else they are way smarter. So yeah, it's kind of like that. You can say they're really smart. Like these guys are ridiculously smart. But in terms of skill and fighting, I would say everyone is better than them. But if they did, like I'm gonna say it like this: if RC fought any one of them, she's losing. I don't care how skilled she is; she is losing. Not one of them can beat her. That's how bad it is. And we all know how powerful RC is. Plus, Iron Knight, yeah, one of them alone can solo Iron Knight. So I'm gonna say this right now: all of these guys are OP as hell. Yeah, these are very strong bots. Yeah. But thankfully, I brought some backup of the Decepticons, and this is gonna be, season 3 just came early. I just realized that right now. But anywho, let's continue. Now, obviously, basically, put I know to ask how are they gonna help, but then Nova would explain by taking out the Kia Vector Sigma. It explains everything, as he explains that his father basically left this for them, as they could use this to basically bring back all of his memories, but they can also give him their memories so he can understand the situation. And hearing this, everyone is like, okay. Everyone is a bit surprised and they're a bit confused. Besides the Knights, the Knights know. I mean, these guys are ancient, like extremely ancient. They've been around for a long time since the Prime eras. Since the Prime eras, like when the original 13 Primes. So they've been alive for a long, long time, and the Primes are like millions to billions of years old because Oximus is like 9 million years old. Yeah, he's actually 9 million. So yeah, they're extremely old. Like they're very old. But anywho, Ratchet will say, well, yes, but the problem is Vector Sigma is on. Well, and then I would finish off the sentence by saying Cybertron. So we have to get there, but like I don't know. Wait, hold on. We can just use the force to probably repair our ship. But then Nova's like, no, we're not doing that. That's too much time. I have a better plan, which will obviously work. And everyone is confused until Nova's like, we have the Forge of Souls Prime, which can literally make any artifact, weapon, and tool we want. And last time I checked, it also only a Prime can use it. So, and we all are Primes. Yes, they can use it because they actually are Primes. I mean, like, think about it. Megatron in the show, like, cut off the arm of a Prime, attached it to his body, and he could automatically use the Forge. So, you don't need the Matrix. You just have to be a Prime. That's it. And, yeah, that's pretty much what they do. And they decide just to use the Forge to pretty much make the space bridge. And honestly, I was thinking, would this be actually good? Like, I don't think this is gonna be a like good idea. But I thankfully I made a plot twist for this. Like, yeah, I'm sorry I had to do this, but let's be honest. The Decepticons need this more than the Autobots, and besides, the Autobots already have backup and another backup and another backup. Like to my subscriber who like sent me this idea, thank you. But at the same time, you kind of made it complicated as well because now the thing is, I was not gonna plan on adding him and his friends. Like he's well, what does he see them as? His tools, his pets, his experiments. I think that I gave you guys a clue who he was. At the end of the day, you're all gonna know who he is. But yeah, but let's continue. Now, episode 1 will be focusing on the Autobots, just basically with that conversation and them basically just remaking this ground bridge into a space bridge. Episode 2 will be everyone packing up and getting ready. And many Autobots are getting ready to go, but then Nova will be like, I don't think we need you guys to come with us. And hearing this makes Ironhind confused. He's like, what? Why? And Nova will be like to be fair, I'm not too sure if we want you guys to come with us. I mean, we got this, so I mean, we're promise, but we're chilling. And then Ratchet's like, you guys are very cocky. And Sentinel's like, oh, but are you forgetting that primes are demigods? And the thing is, that's true. Like, primes are literally demigods. Like, I'm surprised that, like, to be honest, that's literally what they are. Primus is literally their deity. So, yeah, I mean, they have no reason to argue with them. You can't argue with a higher being. It's kind of, it's logical. Best option is to keep your mouth shut and just follow with the plan. And Ratchet will be like, you guys don't have any special abilities. And then Nova basically slaps his hand on his head and he's like, Ratchet, you guys can't even lift a forge or even use his abilities. Plus the fact you can't even use a vortex blade. Plus the fact you can't even use the key of Vector Sigma. Plus the fact you can't even give back my father's memories without one of us. So please. And plus the fact we don't really need you guys to even help us fight. We can just use brute strength, intelligence, strategy, and overall speed, which is true. They don't really need to be skilled at fighting at all. Like, the thing is, they're literally gonna win against everyone. Is just the only reason why I would say they're stronger than everyone, and the reason why they can win against everyone, including the Knights, is because of one key reason. They do have Optimus's memories, but his instincts. So they are automatically know what to do in a fight automatically. So they're pretty overpowered. Like what Optimus did was kind of ridiculous. Like this man did a lot of things to his sons to make sure these guys cannot lose like him. So not only can they beat literally everyone they in a 1v1, but if everyone tag team them, yeah, they would lose. But if it's a 1v1, like if Optimus fought Rodimus in a 1v1, she would automatically lose. Like there is a literally guarantee. It's like Optimus against RC. Like you already know he's gonna win. So yeah, there's no debating. There's no debating. Yeah. So yeah, let's continue. Now, hearing this makes Ratchet get a bit angry, but at the same time, he does realize he's speaking facts. Though I can't really do much. Like he is a demigod, so what can I really do? The kids are a little bit mad from this because they're like, "You guys are way too cocky," and then Sentinel does something extremely disrespectful. And last time I checked, you guys are a bunch of flesh bags that can't really do nothing besides screw up, mess up, and just stay here in the base, complain, argue. And the only person who's actually really useful is literally the nerd boy over there that can at least speak Sabatronian language. And he's a 12-year-old and he's a nerd, so what does that make the two of you? I mean, you two like, aren't you the most useless batch of meatbags here? I mean, like, at least that Agent Falwa guy. I mean, he's a military man, so he got some skills, so he's kind of useful. But the two of you are like it's just a bunch of trash, to be honest. And Maximus is like, okay. Nova, okay. Sentinel, Nova, let's just go and save our father, okay? Let's just go. As five of them proceed to basically go, and pretty much episode 1 and 2 is just focusing on remaking the ground bridge into the space bridge, and them talking, having a conversation so they can get some answers and everything. But now we go to episode 3 where things go to kind of hell, you can say, because you see the five of them, these five Autobots, or should I say Primes, are all driving together towards Kaon because that's where the actually why was it in Kaon? But Kaon was a like before like Megatron took it over, it was kind of like Iocon, where it was it was like a favorite city because of how it was. Like it was mostly because of gladiatorial fights and all that. Plus the fact the knights always ruled there, and I think it was one of Megatronus' cities. I'm not too sure, but yeah, pretty much that's why everyone likes Kaon. I'm guessing. Oh, maybe it's because the good guys will never expect the bad guy. Oh yeah, like it makes sense. I mean, the bad guys won't even bother thinking up their own city because like it's their city. They expect to know everything, so it makes sense why they bury it there. Makes sense. I mean, Alphatron has the I forgot what the book's name was, but it holds the records of the future. So yeah, I think it's odd car the Covenant of Primus. No, I think it was something else, but not too sure. Listen, I may be deep in the law, but yeah, let's just say I don't know much about the Primes. Like, yeah, I barely know much about those guys. I mean, that's how useless they are. But anywho, now the five of them, the five new primes, well, new demigods technically, are all, you know what, they are literally demigods, and Prime is technically the god. But anywho, the five of them are going together, and I want to mention this. Yes, Nova brought the Vortex Blade because I'm not just gonna leave it. I mean, he can use it, so it makes sense. All five of them are going together towards Kaon, but then they're hearing battle sounds, they're hearing roars, they're hearing screaming, they're hearing metal clashing with each other, they're hearing a bunch of things, growls, roars, me- mechanical flesh, like well, not mechanical flesh, but mechanical parts being ripped apart, you can say, and a lot of other crazy things. They're hearing like beast sounds, and all five of them stop, transforming into their robot forms, and all of them basically sneak towards the location. And all of them are like hiding in destroyed debris and rocks and pillars and all that. And they basically hide and quickly look over to see what the hell's going on. And they're actually shocked. And Nova's like, my gosh, isn't that the Dinobots? And hearing this makes Maximus like, yeah, that is the Dinobots. Optimus's team, but they were the likeness reactors before Shockwave, like, did experiments and all that to them. And Icarus is like, oh, that's so sad. There were no more bots until Shockwave did some horrible and horrific things to them. And Sentinel's like, I really feel pity for them, but at the same time, we got a job to do. But we should help them. Like this Sentinel is like he's kind of a he's kind of an a-hole, but at the same time he's a good guy, you can say. He's in between, but he's mostly good. That's the worst part. But anywho, it's kind of hilarious seeing Optimus having Sentinel as a son because usually he's either Optimus's father figure or his mentor or his idol or something. It's kind of funny. It's the opposite now. But anywho, Rodimus is like, we should try to help them at least. And Nova's like, we should. All right, I have a plan. Rodimus, you're gonna go to Victor Sigma to grab Alvar's memories, while me, Maximus, Icarus, and Sentinel will basically go help out the Dinobots. Okay? And hearing this, Rodimus nods, and quickly Nova gives him the key of Victor Sigma, and quickly Rodimus drives off, and all four brothers pretty much stand side by side, and pretty much, you know what I have to say this, they're pretty much auto farming. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they're literally doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like poses. They're literally doing that, and they're pretty much auto farming. And this man Nova having this big sword on his back, like the Vortex blade is kind of big, like it's really big, and he has the sword on his back, and all of his brothers just looking crazy, and yeah, I don't know why I had to put that there, but to be honest, it's kind of hilarious. I mean, besides, let's be honest, at this point, auto farming is just it's just a trend. I don't like it, but at the same time, it's really funny for me because it's just hilarious. But anywho, the four of them pretty much just rush in. Now the six Dinobots, yeah, six. Now all of you are wondering who are the Dinobots since I added six. It's the same ones from Fall of Cybertron. Yes, Fall of Cybertron, the game, because remember, the games are actually canon and are actually connected to the show. Sadly, even though they messed up so much that the show had more potential, but they wasted everything. Instead, they should have just separated everything. But to be honest, I kind of like the connection. But I'm gonna mess up the connection a bit. I'm gonna kind of make it canon and non-canon in some what ifs, because at the end of the day, the the show literally messed up the games like law and all that. But anywho, pretty much the Dinobots are Grimlock, Swoop, Sludge, Snarl, Slug, and Slash. Yeah, the female Dinobot that pretty much was supposed to appear in 2014, Age of Extinction. Yeah, I'm adding her in this one. But anywho, the four primes quickly rush in and start shooting, and quickly Nova jumps up and uses the vortex blade to stop time for a bit. Well, not stop time, you can say. He kind of oh sorry, he doesn't stop time. He slows down time to like, you know what? How can I describe this? He slows down time, making him move faster than everyone else. So he's more like a blur, and he's busy pretty much beating up some. No, not beating up. Sorry, because you know what? I would have to say beating up because he doesn't really know how to kill. Like I'm gonna say this: the five of them are pure. Like they're very pure. They don't really have any kill counts. They don't really know how to kill because let's be honest, Oximus wasn't. He was more of a he was more of a pacifist. Let's just be honest. Yeah, me and Oxmus are very similar in that. But at the end of the day, if you need us to get the job done, yeah, we'll do that. But anywho, the five of them pretty much don't really try to kill the Insecticons. They just pretty much just hold them off. Like Sentinel just takes out two swords, like the ones he had from Revenge of the Fallen, but instead of it being one sword, he just takes them out as individual swords and fights the Insecticons. Now he doesn't try to kill them, but he's definitely cutting off limbs and giving a few deep cuts. Not fatal wounds, but he's not doing them any favors either. But yeah, Maximus is literally just using his fist. Like this man don't care, bro. Rather stand on business with his hands than his weapons. I mean, to be fair, that's kind of badass. But and Icarus, I mean, this man is literally like, I would have to say dancing at this point. Like he's just fighting these guys with his legs. Like this man is not using his arms at all. He's just using his legs. And the six Dinobots are very confused and look at this like, what the hell? Grimlock is like, who are these guys? And why does one of them look like Oximus? Actually, why do I have the feeling these guys are like Oximus, and at the same time they're not? And Super's like, I don't know, but they have Autobot symbols, so they're on the outside. And then Nova would like pretty much, and Nova will pretty much resume time to its normal state. So it looks like he's just like he's in his regular speed instead of like looking like a blur. And he pretty much just stabs and cuts a few, like not into pieces, but cuts like cut some of the body parts off, and like they just injuring them mostly. And the leader of the not the Insecticons, but the leader of the group is like, interesting. Very, very interesting. And Nova will quickly, sorry about that, but Nova will quickly rush towards his brothers, and he's like, "You guys alright?" And the others like, "Yeah." And then quickly Nova and the rest rush towards the Dinobots, and seeing that they're very injured, Nova's like, "Ah, scrap. Don't worry, I can help you guys." Looking at the Vortex Blade, he's like, "This sword is extremely overpowered, but at the same time, the creator of this video does know that the Decepticon is gonna get OP, so yeah." But we don't care much. And the thing is, yeah, he's right. Yeah, they're gonna need this sword at its maximum. I don't have to hold it back at this point, because because the final villain is gonna be he's gonna be a problem. So yeah, I'm gonna let the sword be at its peak. So yeah, I know the story should have ended literally like in part 3 or 4 or 5, like somewhere there it should have ended. But honestly, I'm interested in like making it more interesting. But anywho, Nova used the power of the Vortex Blade to heal all of them, and seeing this surprises Grimlock and the other Dinobots who look at Nova and other the other three and are very confused. And Grimlock is like, "Who are you, young bots?" And seeing Grimlock, he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're Grimlock. You're one of Oximus's lieutenants." Yeah, actually, Grimlock was actually one of Oxman's lieutenants. Kind of surprising. He's usually just a brute or just some. He's usually just muscle. Kind of surprised he was actually one of his lieutenants. That's a shock for me. Like, he's actually one of his lieutenants. Like, literally was one of his lieutenants, but sadly, Shockwave messed him up. And the worst part about it, Shockwave decreases his intelligence. And sad part is, this man was extremely smart, and his battle IQ was higher than Optimus and Megatron. Yeah, this man Grimlock was OP as hell. But thankfully, Nova can actually help with that. And the thing is, I'm I'm kind of thinking if I should do this, but I'll see later on. But anywho, Nova's like, it's it's been a while, like, and Nova pretty much tells Grimlock that it's kind of an honor for him to meet Grimlock. And Grimlock looks at Nova and he looks him up and down. And Grimlock is like, "You kind of look like Optimus." And Maximus like, "Well, actually, we're the sons of Optimus." And Grimlock's like, "I'm sorry, what?" And Icarus like, "Yeah, we're our pops offsprings. Yeah, we're way spawns." And Sentinel's like, "Uh-huh. So you better treat us with respect. We're your superiors." And Grimlock looks at Sentinel and is like, "And you're very cocky." And Sentinel's like, what can I say? I mean, being the son of a prime, I'm kind of privileged. For sadly, this little boy is right. He is privileged, very privileged. Thing is, he's not wrong at all. He's more privileged than literally any Cybertronian. Like, at the end of the day, he's literally more privileged. Like I said, he's a good guy. He's very nice, but he's an a-hole because he wants to, because he's hilarious. And honestly, I didn't really want the characters to be like this, but at the same time, Sentinel has always been like this, so I kind of at least had to give him some traits from his Transformers One. And okay, the Dark of the Moon Sentinel wasn't a dick; he was kind of wise, but at the same time, I hate the guy. So yeah, I'm gonna take. You know what? Screw Sentinel from Dark of the Moon. Yeah, I'm taking nothing from him. The Beaver Sentinel can go straight to hell. Now I'll take some from animated Sentinel because he's the only perfect description that screams a hole. So yeah. But anywho, pretty much Grimlock is literally a bit pissed, but then Nova's like, "Hey, listen, my brother over here is a bit of a he's many things, but he's a good guy. He's just doing this because he wants to get on your nerves." And Grimlock's like, "Oh, it's working. I really, really want to punch him." And Nova's like, "I have a sword that can stop time." And Grimlock turns to him and says, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" "I have a sword that can stop time." And Grimlock, surprised, is like, "Dang, the Vortex Blade actually exists? Huh, I thought it was a myth." Super's like, "My gosh, if we had this back in the beginning of the war, we would have won instantly. But only like a true prime can wield it. So, wait, like, so you guys are like primes. Okay, yeah, that's interesting." And Slash, she's like, "Okay, let's stop chatting because he's right over there." And everyone looks up, and the four kids look up, and then Seto's like, "Okay, this is not gonna be this is not gonna be easy." As Sentinel even like he kind of loses his cockiness because bro is going serious right now. He literally went from being cocky and arrogant to being humble and serious so quick, which I have to respect because let's be honest, who really wants to face this devil? Like this man is the definition of just no, like he's the definition of what would happen if humans didn't have emotions. You can say. And Nova says his name, Shockwave. So this is the guy you've been fighting, along with his Predacons. Snarl says, and here on this makes Maximus turn around and says one word, Predacons. You gotta be joking. Like what? When? How? Predacons went extinct. And Snarl's like, yep, but he revived some, and we've been facing them. And here on this, Icarus is like, "You know the names, Icarus?" And Snarl's like, "Yeah, these guys learned how to transform because of us." And Maximus slaps his hand on his forehead, and he's like, "Oh, okay, great, Great, great. So, what are the names? And Sludge is like Predator King, Darksteel, and Skylynx. These three Paracons are very dangerous, along with the three Insecticon lieutenants of Shockwave. Wait, what? Sentinel was a bit confused from hearing Insecticon lieutenants because technically they never had lieutenants, but he's very confused by that. He's like, wait, what's he has what now? And Grimlock is like, kickback, snapshots, sharp shots, sharpnel. Yeah, these guys they're not the kindest of Insecticons. They're very smart and dangerous. And pretty much Maximus is just wondering how did things end up like this. But yeah, we cut to Rodimus, who goes straight towards pretty much the location. Obviously gets his father's memories. There is no scrap list, there is no nothing. Because I had to do this one. Now obviously he comes out of the place, but then the key is pointing him to another place. He's confused. He transforms and drives towards the place. And he would arrive and I transforms into his robot form, but then he realizes this is one of Shockwave's labs. But then he realizes, oh scrap, this is one of his camps. Yeah, not labs, camps. Yeah, yeah. So what do I mean by camps? Yes, like many of you done history and all that. Let's just say it's very horrible for them. Like I'm gonna say this right now. How bad is it from a scale of 1 to 10? 30 out of 10. Yeah, this man Shockwave does something more horrendous than anything. To be honest, like you can be taught, like I'd rather be tortured, but what Shockwave does to you is something else. Like he doesn't torture you. He just I don't know what he does at this point. Experiments. Uh, trust me, I'd rather be experimented by anyone else but Shockwave. And that's saying something because what he does to you is kind of ridiculous, horrendous, like evil. Yeah, this man done a lot of things to a lot of Autobots, but thankfully a few female Autobots saved them, but they got caught and they've been they're getting experiments and all, but thankfully their saviors come, and I'm kind of surprised. Yeah. Anywho, now Rodimus pretty much walks through the building, well, the place you can see, and he's looking around, and he sees a lot of energon, and he's like, "Oh scrap! What the hell, Shock? We've been doing here?" And he enters in the lab. He goes inside the lab and sees a lot of dead bodies, and he looks at all of this like, "Oh my gosh!" And keep in mind, to all of you, this man is only like a day old. Actually, no, he's 2 days old at least, and he's the youngest. Actually, he's a few minutes older than his brothers, so he's a day and a half. I'm just gonna say he's only a day and a half. No, I'm just gonna say he's 2 days old. Why not? So he's pretty much a baby. I know he has Optimus's memories. I did say that, but I didn't clarify good enough for you guys. But yes, he does have Optimus's memories and everything. But at the end of the day, he's still a freaking child. He's still a baby. So what the hell would this do to his mental health? It's gonna do a lot of horrible things. But thankfully, his father is one of the toughest men you can say. Like Prime is very mentally like healthy, you can say, kind of, but he's okay. Like I don't really know what words I can describe it because I'm not too interested in using the big words, even though I'm smart. No, the big words I'm not too interested in using. But let's just say this: he's traumatized right now, but he keeps himself steady as he realizes a true leader cannot back down or falter in front of obstacles like this. Even though there's a lot of dead bodies, at the end of the day, he must ask one question. I'm gonna kill someone anyway, so there's no points. This is just a test, which is true. So he pretty much walks through and he looks at all the Autobot, the Decepticon bodies, and he's just wondering what the hell was Shockwave doing. And then he goes and sees a couple of Predacon bodies, and he's kind of surprised, wondering where did these Predacons come from. But then he sees Insecticon bodies, and he's surprised. He's wondering what the hell Shockwave was doing. And yeah, this man Shockwave done a lot of horrible things. Like, I can't lie, Shockwave, you are. Oh my gosh! Like, the thing is, the man's war crimes are kind of hilarious. Beavers, you were never compared to this man's war crimes. Yeah, I had to say that because let's be honest, like, this man Shockwave is just ridiculous. But anywho, now Rodimus is walking and just wondering why the hell did they keep bring him here, until he realizes he can hear a voice. It's very faint, but it sounds like she's in pain. He realizes it's a female, but then he hears a couple others, and then he gets very confused, concerned, and then realizes, hmm, wait. He turns around and then realizes Autobot bodies, and then Rodimus starts looking around like a detective, and then realizes something. There's a lot of cages, but there's no one. And then he realizes something. Maybe the Autobots who came here to save them. Maybe maybe they were Autobots that were trapped here. And maybe some Autobots came here to save them. Realizing this, he quickly runs towards the voices, and he's very surprised. He sees a Leader One, Moonracer, Elia, and Chromia. And yeah, 4 female Autobots. And very surprised he then sees another one. And he's like, wait, isn't that the Predacon that Optimus saved? Maldoran? Why is she here? And then turning around, he sees an Insecticon. And Prime is kind of surprised. I'm sorry, Rodimus is kind of surprised. And Rodimus walks up to this Insecticon. And the Insecticon looks straight at Rodimus. And Rodimus looks straight at him. And he's like, huh. So you're one of Shockwave's Insecticons? Why are you caged up? Why did he trap you? And the Insecticon, which is hard shell, is like, Shockwave. That's a pile of scrap. I was one of his most loyal, but he used me as an experiment. Hearing this makes Rodimus look at him like, wow, so that's what you get for being loyal to a Decepticon. I wonder who would have thought of that. Like, I wonder who's the board telling you to always do right and try to help you. And then the Insecticon, which is Hardshell, is like, ugh, let me guess, Optimus, obviously. Telling us to do the right thing. Choose the right side. Like the Autobots were ever better. And Ron like, literally, I came here to save them. Are you an idiot? I mean, to be fair, Rodimus literally came here to save them, so yeah, like, you kind of chose the wrong side, Hardshell. And Hardshell just looks at Rodimus and rolls his eyes. He's like, just go save your friends. I know you're gonna leave me to die. That's your Autobot's nature. And then Rodimus like, yeah, that's the Autobot's nature, but that's not my father's nature. Confused, Hardshell looks at him and is like, your father? Who the hell is your father? And Rodimus says his name, Optimus Prime. Kind of surprised, he looks at Rodimus, and then he realizes, oh scrap, you do look like him, kind of. So you're the son of Optimus Prime. And then Rodimus proceeds to take out his energon blades. Yeah, like the ones that Optimus has in the Beavers movies, and proceeds to slice off the handcuffs, the chains that are pretty much holding him like up, because yeah, he was chained up, and he pretty much let him down. And Hardshell is confused and asks why he's helping him. And then Rodimus is like, my father would do the same thing. Sadly, this man Rodimus is speaking facts. Prime would do the same thing. And Hardshell is kind of surprised from this, but then looks at Rodimus, nods his head, and Rodimus proceeds to help him up, and then quickly slices the chains that are holding Maldoran, Alida, Elia, Chromia, and Moonracer, helping them all up. And he's literally carrying all of them on his back. And the 5 female Autobots are literally knocked out, so bro's carrying more weights. And Hardshell does try to help, but he's very damaged. And I'm not gonna lie, Rodimus, everyone, you have to clap hands. This man is a literal two I was gonna say 2-year-old. He's 2 days old. and he's busy carrying this entire team on his back, and like he's doing something no newborn would do. Rodimus, we gotta put respects to this man, like to this child, to this baby. No, I'm not gonna say that. No, to this child. He's he's doing things that none of us could do when we were his age. That's the worst part, but at the same time, let's be honest. I mean, if your father was Oxmus and he brought you online, I mean, you would be able to do all of that. But at the end of the day, let's be honest. This man Rodimus is just doing all of this because of technically he's just a clone of Oxmus. But anyway, Rodimus is carrying all of them, and he would arrive and see the battlefield. Now we would see pretty much Nova and the primes, the other primes, which is Sentinel, Icarus, Maximus, along with the Dinobots, all kind of struggling. Now, obviously, Nova always has an overpowered weapon, but at the same time, I don't like, I don't want to always beat them or always like winning. All you can say. I would say the reason why they're like tired and all that is because of one reason. Shockwave has a lot of Insecticons. The ones from War for Cybertron, the ones from Transformers Prime. Yeah, he has those Insecticons. So yeah, it's kind of struggling. But quickly, Rodimus will put them down and he screams, "Nova, throw me the Vortex Blade now!" Nova looks up and is like, "Rodimus?" And then looking closer, he's like, "And who the hell are those bots?" No, screw it. He throws the blade and Rodimus catches it and uses the power of the blade, its time abilities, to restore these six bots. And all of them come back, not online, but they come back on they're oh yeah, they're awake from the from the knockout. Yeah, yeah, from the knockout. What? Dang it. So into the story, I kind of forgot what to say. But anywho, they pretty much just wake up and they get up and all of them just look at each other a bit confused because like they know each other, they all know each other, but they're just wondering what happened. Rodimus turns around and is like, "You guys okay?" And all the five female Autobots look at him and wonder who he is, and Rodimus is like, "Okay, I have no time to explain, but I'm gonna say this like this: I am Rodimus Prime, the son of Optimus Prime. Don't get it confused. I don't have a mother or anything. I was just a protoform, but he gave his DNA and used the forge of the Source Prime, used the Power Matrix. Listen, there's a lot of things, but I need you guys' help. And I did help and I did save you guys and heal you all, so you kind of owe me. But at the end of the day, Rodimus, you don't really need because all of them already owe Oximus, so yeah. And besides, Hardshell is now in your debt, so yeah. And Hardshell gets up and he's like, "Ugh, I don't really care, kid. I want payback because of Shockwave. That's that slimy little. He's gonna pay for what he did to me." And Ramos is like, "Yeah, Shockwave is a bit of a he's a bit of an a-hole. But it doesn't matter. I help you get your revenge. But at the end of the day, you owe me a lot." And hearing this, Hotshell's like, "No, no problem, kid. I'll help you with anything. After this, I'm officially an Autobots." And then Ramos makes a joke, saying, "So you're an Insectobots?" And the Insecticon looks at Ramos like, I guess doesn't sound cool, but if you get used to the naming, it'll eventually sound nice to your familiar or something. But yeah. Now Alita gets up and after hearing all of that, she's like, "Okay, I'll help you, but what's going on?" And seeing the female bots, Grimlock calls their names. And Alita looks and she smiles. As the thing is, the reason why Grimlock was fighting Shockwave was because he wanted to go on a rescue mission to save Alita and all that. So we kind of have an explanation. Oh, dang it, I didn't really explain clearly, but listen, Grimlock wanted to rescue the five of them. But Shockwave obviously sent his Insecticons and his Paracons and his Insecticon lieutenants after him. He experimented on Hardshell because he wanted to know more about the Insecticons, and besides, Hardshell was more of a brute, so he didn't really care much about him. But anyway, let's continue. Now, Ramis rushes down along with the others, and they start helping out the other the others, and they're all fighting together side by side. But of course, like I said, I'm gonna find a way for the Decepticons to come here. Simple. The Decepticons track the space bridge phenomenon as they realize that someone used the space bridge, so they space bridge towards their location, and they would arrive and see the battlefield. And obviously, Megatron is very confused, but then he sees Shockwave, and then he smiles. But when he sees Pericon, he's like, "Oh, Primus, Primus, Primus! Thank you, finally!" Oh, whoever gave the creator this suggestion, like whoever gave him this idea, finally, I got some backup. Yeah, Megatron, you're happy, but I'm about to ruin it for you. As we would basically see Officer Ryan busy working on coordinates towards the artifacts, the relics. Yeah, they're gonna do the relic hunt very soon. But the Autobots, like those the ones that are down, which are the Dinobots, the female Autobots, and technically Hardshell, because now you join Team Prime, the Autobots, but along with Team Prime, which is the Primes. Things it makes sense to call them Team Prime because they're a bunch of primes and all that. I mean, it's more of a logical name for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's Team Prime and they're primes. I mean, come on, like it's perfect. But anywho, Rama sees this and then he realizes that the Nemesis is here. He tells everyone, and everyone looks up and is shocked. And Luminox is like, "Scrap, what are we gonna do?" And Ramus is like, "Scrap, why are you saying scrap? This is a good thing. Now we get to get our father back." And hearing this, Nova smiles and is like, "All right, Ramus, do your thing." Ramus completely stops time in the entire universe. Like he stops time completely. No one is moving across the entire universe. Even Unicron, if he's still alive or his soul. So yeah, the entire universe is stopped. No one is moving. Listen, this controls time, and time is like time is it's always shown to be 4D and all, so it's obviously higher. It's a higher dimension and all that. So and besides, universe is always shown to be like 3D or something. Makes sense. It can be stopped throughout the entire universe and all. But anywho, pretty much Ramen just goes up to the Nemesis. How does he do it? Time. You know what? Space. He can control time and space. He just teleports because space is always. It's always about like travel. So I'm gonna give it an extra. Oh yeah, I already gave this ability. Yeah, teleportation. He just teleports there, and he walks up, and he proceeds to resume time. And everyone is very confused. Like everyone actually stops for a second. Everyone, because they are very confused, as they felt something was wrong with them. But the thing is that it lasted for them like a split second. For Rodimus, it was more than a second. It was actually like a minute or something. And Rodimus proceeds to give his father's memories back. Now, obviously, Orion will turn around and he's confused. But Rodimus would literally just punch him literally in his chest, like in the middle of his chest where the matrix and his spark is. Why did he do that? He literally fused the Vector Sigma key with the matrix along with Optimus's spark. So this man Optimus would never lose his memories. And honestly, I wonder why they didn't do that. That would actually be so OP. But at the end of the day, it's actually very OP. Like, I can't lie. But the thing is, that kind of did something to Optimus as it's Vector Sigma. And Vector Sigma always been shown to either create Cybertronian life, give information, or other incredible things. So I'm gonna give this. This Vector Sigma key does something to Optimus. We get Optimus 2.0. But this time, he doesn't look like Beef Prime. He looking like Night Prime. I mean, you guys can see it. You guys can see it. Yeah, it's the middle picture. But anywho, yeah, we got this one. Nightmas Prime. Hmm, not bad. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Nightmas Prime. Oof. Anywho, pretty much Optimus gets up and he looks at Rodimus. Because Rodimus didn't just like give him his original memories. He gave him his memories. He gave him Maximus, Nova, freaking Icarus, and Sentinel because they actually each gave They literally exchange, like they literally like, you know, the way the how the key was, like he just took the information. Yeah, they basically did that, but they still have the information. That's the best part. And Oximus gets up and he pretty much opens up his hand, and Rodimus gives his father the sword, and Oximus gets up, cracks his neck, and this man is even taller than before. Even Megatron, I mean, like ever since they got the upgrades, these guys have been taller than before, like, and they even were overpowered. But Oximus, yeah, Oximus 2.0, or should I say Night O? No, that doesn't sound fire. Night form, yes. Oximus Night form, yeah. Pretty much, he's literally the strongest character right now. Literally, like, if it wasn't for Unicron, he would literally be the strongest character in this entire verse. Yeah. This Oximus cracks his neck. Oh, Oximus cracks his neck. And he proceeds to literally just, like, I don't know how he, like, to be honest, the sword was OP, but at the same time, I didn't know it was that OP. Like, bro, literally, okay, I'm joking. I already knew it was OP. I knew how OP it was. I mean, I gave it no limits. Well, kind of, but it's only bounded by time and space. You can only have like abilities that are kind of in that plane of existence. So pretty much, he just kind, yeah, he opens a portal. Let me just say that, and he goes with Rodimus. And before that happened, Megatron would arrive in the battlefield along with his Decepticons, and he would look at the Autobots that are there, and he's oh shucks, and he's like, oh, the lightning striker quad. It's been a while since I've seen Grimlock and those other Autobots. But Shockwave, it's been a long, long, long time, my boy. Oh, I miss you, Shockwave. I miss you. Hearing this kind of surprises Shockwave, but at the same time, he kind of likes it because now he's gonna get a lot of attention. And trust me, like this man Megatron is actually gonna be a bootlegger. Bro literally does not care. This man wants Shockwave more than anybody. This is his best asset. And he's literally like, Shockwave, it's been so long. I needed you. I am so sorry that I trusted Starscream with you. Cause I thought I lost you. If I had you in the beginning, everything would have went well. But instead, I had this useless fool, Starscream. And hearing all of this disrespect to a Starscream makes Shockwave think to himself, still, what the hell is Starscream do to be so useless? And dang, Shockwave, you should ask one question. What didn't he do to become so useless? Let's all be honest. Like this man Starscream is the definition of useless. But we do not care much. We only care about the story and how our characters are. But anywho, this is how it's gonna go. Now Megatron looks at all these Autobots and he's like, alright, let's just kill them all and let's just go home freely because I have Orion Pax with me. And the Shark was like, wait, it's not Optimus' original name. And then Megatron's like, Optimus lost his memories and I'm basically manipulating the guy, so that's fine. We're chilling. But then Nova's like, I highly doubt that, Megatron. And looking at Nova, he's like, and who the hell are you, boy? And then Nova's like, I'm the son of Optimus Prime. I'm the protoform. Those protoforms you couldn't yet. And here on this makes Megatron look at Nova and is like, oh, why? Oh, Optimus, why? Like at this point you can't even tell me. I don't know if this is plot armor or if this is part of the story. And it's neither. It's just, I mean, it makes sense. Why wouldn't he do that? Besides, I'll do that myself. I mean, who wants more like at the end of the day, I don't want to clone any of my friends. I'd rather clone one person, the one you can trust the most, the one you know who can betray you, yourself. And let's be completely honest, Arximus would never betray himself. Starscream, obviously, I mean, it makes sense why his clones betrayed him. I mean, this man would even betray himself. Like, let's be honest, that makes sense. Optimus, though, nah. Like, if you're the type of guy to even betray yourself, obviously, if you make a clone of yourself, it's gonna betray you. But if you're the type of guy to always trust yourself and others, yeah, your clone is gonna be like your most loyal friend and all that. But anyway, Megatron looks at Nova and is like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna kill everyone else." Simple, because I'm really just tired of all of this. Besides, Optimus and his team are not gonna have any backup until we hear a voice saying, "Oh, really? You really think that's gonna happen?" Everyone turns around. Well, yeah, everyone does turn around, and the Autobots were already looking in front, so they kind of surprised as Optimus pulls up with Rodimus, and Rodimus like, "Look who's back!" And Samson's like, "Daddy's back with the milk." Ah. Icarus like, "Yep," and he came to stay. And Maximus is like, "All right, we already won." And Nova's like, "And Megatron, like I said, you're not gonna win." Megatron turns around, looks at Optimus, looks at Rhombus, and then he's like, "Okay, okay, Primus, I see. I see you. You don't have favorites. You just do what you need to do. Okay, I see. I see." Ah, Primus, please just save me for once. But then proceeds to get up and cut it in the air. I mean, like, this version of Optimus is OP as hell. Like, I'm not gonna say he's on 2.0 Megatron level strength, but he's ridiculous. Like, if I would put him up against his original 2.0 design, like, I can give this 2.0 design the Star Saver and everything, and this one just only has those Vector Sigma. No, sorry. Yeah, the Vector Sigma upgrade plus the Vortex Blade. This man is like, he's OP as hell. Like, dang. But anywho, they pretty much have a fight. And Optimus dominates this man Megatron so easily. Even Megatron thinks to himself that these upgrades were pointless. I mean, originally he could at least do something. Right now he getting demolished. And Shockwave sees this and he shocks. He starts shooting at Optimus. He tells the Predacons to go attack. And Prime fights all of them at the same time. How is this man doing this at this point? But anywho, Rodimus is like, "Hey everyone, come up to me." And everyone quickly rushes towards Rodimus, and Rodimus screams at his dad that everyone is near him. And seeing this, Optimus teleports everyone straight towards Earth and at Omega 1, their base. And everyone is very confused. Like, the team on Earth is just chilling, having a good time, talking to each other. And then out of nowhere, a bunch of Autobots teleported in, and everyone sees Hardshell. And we would see Wheeljack take out his blades, and it's like an Insecticon. As everyone gets ready to fight, quickly Rodimus comes in front. He's like, wait. He became an Autobot. He became an Autobot. He's one of us. Confused, Bulkhead's like, what? This is Hardshell. He killed wreckers for like a living. And then Rodimus is like, Shockwave tortured him and did a lot of horrible experiments, and he wants some payback. And then Bulkhead and Wheeljack like look at each other and look at him like, you kind of deserve that. But then they're like, but it was Shockwave, so we want to help you get some payback. Because let's be honest, nobody likes Shockwave besides Megatron. Can lie. Actually, Megatron, Soundwave, and a couple other Decepticons like Shockwave because of how intelligent he is, how calm he is, how emotionless he is, and how he is. Like, he's really badass character. I understand why Starscream's jealous of the man. I mean, to be fair, I mean, if the guys are cool, of course you're gonna be jealous. But anywho, Ironhind asks where's the Vortex Blade and where's the key. And Rodimus and his brothers are looking at each other with the biggest smirks of a lifetime. Like, this is a type of smirk that will make you look at the person like, is this guy okay? And the thing is, yes, Optimus is literally fighting the entire army of Insecticons and the three most powerful Predacons in the entire show and series, literally. And Megatron, literally in his 2.0 design, who's literally as, if not slightly weaker, but he's either equal or slightly weaker. But at the end of the day, Unicron does not to fight, so I would have to say he's equal to the original. So yeah, Prime beats all of them, goes back home, and everyone is very surprised. Now Optimus is like, listen everyone, you don't have to explain. My sons pretty much just gave their information inside. Pretty much they just transformed their memories inside there. The key, I know everything, you don't have to explain. Everyone hearing this is like, oh thank goodness, at least we don't have to explain. But then Prime is like, but we should get ready for the biggest battle of our lifetimes. And yeah, they should. And I'm gonna end this part right now because of one reason. I've been only speaking about 3 episodes in detail because I wanted to. I don't know at this point. But anyway, peace. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.